Hi guys, Diane here. I just want to take a couple minutes and talk to you guys today about the one most important tool that I think all business owners should have. In fact, it's the first thing that I ask most of my clients, whether they already have in place or we need to set up. Right? It is your project management tool. I hear so often like, oh my gosh, I have so many tasks. I can't seem to kind of keep up with them. Or I lost all my notes and pieces. I swear I wrote it down somewhere. And they're digging through pieces of paper or like, oh, I have an email about that, and having to search through their emails to pull together all of their to-dos, all of their updates, all of, the statuses for their longer running ongoing projects. This is a place where there's a huge missed opportunity because not only does your project management tool serve as a place to house all your tasks and keep them all organized, but they also allow you to, have a running reminder for all of those important follow-up pieces. That's where a lot of missed opportunities come in business. When you do it once and you forget the follow-up, right? Because it's not top of mind. It's, oh, thank goodness I sent that outreach email and there's no follow-up. Or thank goodness I reached out to find out more information about X, Y, and Z product or service to support my business. And then I never followed up, or I never took the next step, or I never read the informational materials that actually came, right? So that's a huge missing piece. And in this video, I want to talk about, how do you actually pick a project management tool? And what are the things that you need to think about when you're setting it up so that you can actually use it and it becomes part of your integrated business operation system, all right? So usually this is one of the first tools that I will ask a client about because this is where we're going to house everything, right? Like everything that we're working on together, everything that's going on in the business, all the recurring stuff. We try to put as much as possible into that project management tool so that it's not clogging up space in your brain as the business owner, right? That's valuable space where you just keep all of the processes and things that you personally know how to do. And it clogs up your brain and it doesn't allow you to be as creative or to think as freely or to focus on the bigger opportunities, right? So getting it all out of your brain into a place where it is delegatable and where it is somewhere that can be tracked on a continuous and ongoing basis is incredibly important. Also, as your business develops and grows, you have to be able to push out those pieces and manage those pieces with other people around you so that you can have the free time to actually focus on larger projects and initiatives. All right. So the first question that people usually have is like, oh, well, how do I actually even pick a tool? There's so many out there. And you're right. There are a ton of project management tools out there. For me, the tool that comes down to, well, how do you like to view your task list? How do you like to view your to-dos, right? That's how I make a selection for myself and how I make a selection for a client, right? How do you usually like to view things? Do you prefer them more visual? Do you like them by color? How are you already categorizing these things? Because if you think that you don't have a process or you think you don't have a system, you probably do. Whether it is keeping things in your email, whether it's keeping things in your notebook or on post-it notes or, a combination of all three or a whole bunch of other places, right? You probably do have a system already in place that you're already kind of subconsciously using. So take a look at that system and think about, all right, so what do I like to see? How do I like to see this? Do I like to see it in lists? Do I like to see it laid out in a big calendar? Do I like to see it in grids with statuses? Like, do I like to see it with colors or some sort of visual representation? Based on that, I would use then to make a selection, a determination on, what format or what tool would be the best based on the format that I like to view work in. If you like lists, you can use Asana. If you like to see it more as a project board or more like a vision mood board type style, you could use Trello. If you like really clean, updated statuses, lots of colors, maybe Monday.com is the best for you. If you like kind of like an ability to kind of see everything laid out with clear dashboards, maybe Basecamp is, a tool for you where you have a lot of ability to reply or it has a lot of integrations to your email because you're not going to be in the tool a lot. Maybe that's the tool for you. So think about that piece first when you're selecting the tool. And then if you're still not sure and you're like, okay, well, I kind of like this, then just try it out. There's a lot of offers out there for project management tools. Just go in there and take a look at it. As soon as you initially set up your account and you start to navigate, you'll get a sense like, oh, I don't think I really like this. It doesn't seem very intuitive. I don't like the way things are being displayed. If that's not the case, then move on to another tool where you get an immediate sense of intuitiveness in terms of the layout. That is the right project management tool for you, right? There's nothing wrong with choosing one, trying it out, and moving on to the next one if it doesn't work for you. Don't get stuck in the indecision of trying to make the perfect choice at the first instance, right? This is business. Chances are you're never going to make the first perfect choice. It's about iteration and learning. From there, I think about, okay, so let's talk about how you set up the actual tool so that you can make it useful for yourself. So remember how I said that you probably do have a system in place? So the things you need to think about when you're setting up your project management tool is, again, how are you categorizing things? Think about the overall categories. You probably keep certain things in your notebook, or you probably organize things if you write them down in a certain way, or if you're using post-it notes, you probably write them down or put things into specific orders. I first think categorically, like, what are the big pieces? What are all the tasks that are falling into certain piles, right? I call them piles. And those become my spaces or my categories or my overarching boards or folders. Things like personal, like if you have a bunch of personal tasks, you might have a personal space or a personal folder or a personal board. If you have marketing, all of the marketing tasks might fall into a marketing space or folder or board. And then from there, you might have things like clients or customers or that might be its own space or board, or deliveries that needs to go out. That might be its own space or board. Within those spaces, all right, so this is where things get tricky. So you have all of your categories of tasks or to-dos, lists, projects, all of the things. They fall into broader categories. Within those categories, there'll be another level of breaking down, right? Within those categories, what are the actual lists? What are the actual to-dos? Those groupings become the tasks, the lists, the standalone boards underneath the umbrella category, right? And that's how you're going to keep things organized, by breaking it down first into category and spaces, overarching, and then within each category, breaking things down into smaller lists and to-dos and piles or boards, or so that you can keep track of them and you can see them all kind of laid out in front of you, and you can assign them with due dates, right? This is the most important step. So now once they're all organized into their actual space containers, their categoric containers, and then their list or their board, then there needs to be an assignment of a date and who's going to do it. And this is how, even as a solopreneur, you can stay on top of everything that you have to do. Just be mindful, like, you can't assign everything. It's not doable to assign everything in one day, even if you're by yourself, even if you have a huge team, right? Not everything can be done at once. There's going to be dependency. So be realistic when you're thinking about this. Think about, like, hey, does this actually need to be done today, this second, right? And then from there, you'll be able to create follow-ups and additional due dates so that things just continue to progress and flow more smoothly. Then finally, just do it. You have to use the tool, right? No matter what, it takes a little bit of time to change those habits, but you have to use it. And every client that I've ever had that we've set up a project management tool, which is in the dozens and dozens at this point, has loved the fact that it's there, that it is a conscious place where, like, oh, okay, everything is there. I don't have to worry about it. It is a place where you get some catharsis and relief as a business owner. Don't you want that for yourself? If you do, go out and choose your project management tool today. All right. So with that, if you are in a place where you need to make a choice, or you're still struggling to set up your project management tool or even choose one, reach out to me. This is something I can definitely help you with. And let's have a chat about what could be the best possible tool for you. What do you need? How should we set it up, right? Like, let me help you. I'm happy to do it. And until next time, this is Diane. Bye, guys.